everybody, my name is Jared.
I'm Eric.
And we're Retro Gaming Pandemic. We're doing this very special interview today with our brother VIRACY for his YouTube channel.
Okay, so first I have to know, where did the name come from?
So the name of the channel came from actually right when the pandemic hit. I personally started collecting retro video games again and kind of going really hard watching content on the internet like Pixel Game Squad and Game Chasers and all these awesome retro video game YouTube channels. So I was talking to Eric and how I expressed interest in maybe starting our own channel one day, and what better name than Retro Gaming Pandemic. As a digital marketer, I knew the word pandemic was a very search-heavy word for search engine optimization, and I thought it would translate into YouTube as well. So I wanted to include the word pandemic within our YouTube channel name.
But also, I know when you pitched it to me, we both talked about how retro gaming right now has become a pandemic.
Absolutely.
It's taken over the world, and I mean, just look at the way prices have gone over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's definitely a very global, popular hobby and passion right now. So the word pandemic is very fitting of that as well.
As being twins, has that affected your gaming growing up when you were children compared to other siblings that you knew?
I would say so. I know a lot of our friends growing up had older siblings where they didn't really hang out that much, to be honest. They had their own group of friends that were kind of separate. But Jared and I, we grew up as friends. Our friends were shared amongst the two of us.
Yeah.
So we pretty much grew up in the same circle. And you know, one cool thing about being a twin brother is you always have a player one and player two ready to go. So if your buddy down the street is grounded or something, you know, you always have your brother there to play video games with you. So that was definitely a cool experience.
Yeah, as a twin brother and a gamer, I think we always had that accessibility to, like Eric said, another player to help out on a level or do some co-op with. So I think in that sense, being a twin actually gave us more of an advantage to play games together than if we were a few years separated by age.
So most collectors have been doing it like in their later years, 25, 30, 35, 40, whatever age. Was that the way you guys had done it, or have you been collecting as far as you can remember?
So for me, it's a mix of both. My Nintendo Switch collection has grown in the last year and a half. Really, at the start of the pandemic, I started going real heavy with Nintendo Switch. So that has grown significantly. But a lot of our older games, like my PS2 collection, my PlayStation 1 collection, were all things that we had when we were kids. My Japanese RPG collection was pretty much one of the few things I held on to growing up, and I still have it.
Yeah, and me personally, you know, a bulk of my retro collection has grown over the last couple years. But they're all games and toys and consoles and things that we used to own as kids that brought back the nostalgia. And I went to kind of seek out for those specific items. But having said that, there are some games from our childhood in my collection, specifically the GameCube, which I actually tricked Eric into letting me have right when I started collecting again. He still had our childhood GameCube and some of our childhood GameCube games as well. So some of those kind of items are still part of our childhood that we brought into our collections.
Yeah, a lot of memories on that GameCube.
Yeah.
And at the time, I did not know how expensive the GameCube was.
No.
So,
And I made sure not to highlight that either. But hey, now our GameCube has a beautiful Game Boy player attached to it. So it's even cooler.
Okay, so follow-up question. What's the item you've held on to the longest?
So I actually still have our original Super Mario Land for the regular Game Boy. That's definitely the oldest thing I think we have. Honestly, I can't remember if we had that game before the N64, our first console.
Yeah, I think we may have had the Game Boy games prior, but for my personal collection, Pokemon Red would be our original kind of longest cartridge that I've personally owned in my collection. It's still our childhood cartridge. And speaking of which, as of today, which is September 29th, tomorrow, September 30th, is the anniversary of Pokemon Red and Blue. So it's very fitting that that cartridge specifically is something that we've held on to since its release.
Yeah, I still have my Red too. With twins, you always have equal items, so we both got red versions.
Yeah.
And you had a blue version too, if I remember, but no one knows.
No one knows who the blue version is.
So, but it goes to show you that everyone loves Charizard over Blastoise.
Yes.
So times are tough, right? And some people have been selling off their collections because of, you know, life happening. So is that something that you feel that you could do as collectors? And if so, would there still be some like, I can't get rid of this ever kind of items for you?
So that's actually a great question. It's something I was literally just talking to Eric probably 20 minutes ago. So, I mean, fortunately, you know, with our collections, we don't want to make our collections our investments, like our retirement investments, because, you know, nothing's going to still beat the stock market, the 401ks, you know, even real estate and things like that. So, you know, still keeping a good goose egg in savings if you can is very important. I'm personally talking about selling some of my collection already just because of the bubble. Most of my games have shot up in value enough where the profit margins make sense to get rid of, unload some of the games you don't really play nor care about anymore. There's a lot of filler games that still shot up in value that you can unload. So I was actually just telling him I want to kind of knock out about 20% of each console in my collection and, you know, see what cash I can gather up from that. But regarding like items I'm never going to sell, I mean, all my heavy hitters for the most part I'm keeping. I mean, the Earthbounds, all of my kind of like rare like Super Nintendo beat 'em ups. Honestly, I may not even part with any Super Nintendo games. A majority of my Genesis games I'm probably never going to part with. So, I mean, it's just kind of specific titles that I just love playing the games, and I'm just, you know, I will always want those games in kind of its physical form.
That's a tough one for me. At the end of the day, family is the most important thing, something I live and die by. So, yes, to me, it would be, if I needed to take care of my family, I would definitely sell my collection. As far as things I would hold on to, and I've kind of held on to already, because when we were kids, you know, a new console would come out and you would kind of trade into, at the time it was EB Games and then GameStop, your previous collection to get the new system. I always held on to my JRPGs, and I still have the original ones to this day. So honestly, any of my JRPGs I always hold on to, and I would never let those go. But at the end of the day, if my family needed it, I would pull the trigger and sell. It'd be hard. It'd be tough. So it better be like an emergency.
For the record, I love my family too. And if need be, I let everything go because they're just material things. You can always go on eBay and buy them back. So I'm not saying like screw family. My video games are more important and I'm staying on that. Not saying that at all. So.
Hey, I'm your family too. So
here's a bunch of video games.
So here's what I wanted to ask of you guys. Like, everybody has issues with being on YouTube. They all complain about YouTube. They go to Patreon to make money. And not to say that that's invalid, but why personally did you guys decide to start a YouTube channel now when there's so many complaints about it?
I know when Jared and I talked about this idea, we never really thought about monetizing and making this our job. We both have jobs, we work. At the end of the day, we're kind of realistic on that aspect, that this is just going to be a hobby to us. hey, if it does become our full-time job, we will be thankful and blessed for that.
And for the record, we treat YouTube like a full-time job. I mean, we just both got off work within 30 minutes ago, and now we're filming this interview.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm going to go home at some point tonight and keep editing, and on top of the million of other things I have to do before I go to sleep and do it all again tomorrow. So,
yeah.
But, I mean, not to cut you off, but yeah, me personally, I never thought about how YouTube treated content creators, because it doesn't matter at that point, because we're not even there yet. We're still a new growing channel. But to be honest, like, I mean, YouTube has provided an amazing technology platform for people to actually own their own TV networks, is how I view it, and that we can use our skill sets, talents, and software and equipment to create episodes and shows that people can view on a platform. I think that's really amazing, YouTube. And if YouTube wants to take a little bit of ad dollar cut, so be it, man. We'll share the wealth, because if we're at a point where we're growing our channel enough, like, man, I want to hit 10 million subscribers one day. And Eric's like, oh, you're crazy. But, like, why not, man?
Yeah.
Because that means there's enough wealth to split amongst your team and YouTube and whoever else, man. So the sky's the limit. But YouTube allows you to have that sky to shoot towards.
Well, I was going to say those super chat takes from YouTube are pretty high, but at the end of the day, like Jared said, we're not even there yet. But when we went into this whole thing and had this discussion about starting a channel, because it is a second job, you will seriously clock out and then clock into YouTube. And for anyone, yeah, seriously, we're exhausted all the time. For anyone looking to start a channel, be ready to put in the work. It becomes a second job, but Jared and I did this because we wanted to connect and meet with other people like Retro Wolf 88, Pixel Game Squad, VIRACY, who's letting us do this interview for his channel. So just that connection with people in the community is why we do this. Yep. And so far, YouTube isn't doing anything to get in the way of that. And if they ever did, then I would have problems. But right now, to be honest, our platform has been awesome to connect with.
No complaints. I like being a YouTuber. So
yeah, I honestly, we're tired, we're exhausted, but we're having so much fun.
Yes.
What do you want to do, if anything, that's different with your channel that you don't see other creators doing?
I know Jared and I going into this, the big aspect was that we're brothers. You know, we've been gaming for 32 years together. And so we wanted to keep this in the family. A lot of the friends you see on our channel are childhood friends that we grew up playing the N64 with, and GameCube and PlayStation and so on, and Xbox, and having those LAN parties together.
Yeah.
Now we're just doing this as adults. And so it's important to us to kind of keep things within our close circle of friends.
Yeah, we want to show that we have not grown up one bit, and everybody around us are still giant man babies.
Yeah, we definitely are big man babies, but
seriously, yeah, to add what you said, Eric, you know, like keeping it family, like whether it's, you know, my fiance or Eric filming, or my sister-in-law and myself editing, or, you know, Matt, our best friend since we were little kids, hunting with us. It's all kind of a very personal connection that we've had. It's so organic and genuine. I think that's why people like watching our content. It's just us having fun together, like we always would do together since decades ago.
Yeah.
Now, this next question might sound similar in nature, but it's actually different. Like, what is the end goal for you guys? Like, is it subs? Is it money? Is it friends? Is it just, you know, finding a way to justify your collecting? Like, what is the sole purpose in it for you, the end game?
So, you know, my personal goal for the channel as a content creator is to continuously raise the bar with our level of production and storytelling. I think with each episode, we get a stronger narrative and a communication to our audience of what the episode is about and what they're watching, and on an entertainment value, but also a production and editing and music supervision. You know, I'm really trying to make this channel as professional as possible with the quality of content we put out. So, you know, a network executive or someone from Netflix or HBO or Amazon can stumble upon our channel and be like, holy crap, like these guys really are on something special. You know, we may want to invest in them to go full blown with the production, because I really love making TV shows and I love television.
Yeah, if you've seen our videos, a big influence us is Pixel Game Squad and Riff's editing.
We love you, Riff.
Yeah, we love Riff. We love the boys. So, but they set their shows up like a television show, and so that was important to us, was to do that, but also to have fun with it and show that in our content, that we're out there having fun with our friends, our partners, and everything, doing what we love, which is video games. And so keeping things fun too is definitely a goal for us. If the channel starts not becoming fun, then at the end of the day, I don't want to do this anymore because it's a crap ton of work.
100%.
And then another goal for us, and we talked about this in another question, was connecting with other people. When we went to Southeast Game Exchange, and that really was the convention, the moment for us that really pushed us to stop procrastinating and get off our butts and start doing this channel. We met so many other content creators, so many YouTubers there, and became friends with a lot of them. And to the point now where we're chatting with people every single day. I mean, Riff and Gabo, we have a group chat going and we talk every single day about what's going on in our lives, about what's going on with their channels, and we become close friends. And so that to me is what...
Riff and Gabo, you're getting invitations to my wedding, man. I really mean that.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, like VIRACY letting us come on and do this interview, we would have met him and his channel if it weren't for Retro Wolf 88, who we met as Siege, and Matt has become a good friend of ours as well, like a brother.
For the record, we originally met VIRACY through him wanting to do a interview about me and my ADHD, and as Eric's talking, I'm like looking at the camera, I'm looking at my face, and my mind is just going everywhere. I'm so antsy right now, so I do apologize, but that's just really funny. But yes, those are all our goals for YouTube.
Yep.
So now we're gonna get to a hard-hitting personal question. Has there ever been a time where you guys didn't talk for like an extended period and then it was hard or awkward to come back from in general in life? Or have you guys always just kind of been there for one another?
Well, as you know, we're brothers. So
twin brothers.
We're twin brothers. So any family holiday, we're going to see each other again.
100%.
So do brothers fight? Probably more than most people. But at the same time, having that family connection makes it a lot easier to deal with because you both know each other so well. And really the whole awkwardness aspect of it that you might have with friends or people that you're just acquainted with.
You squash it so quick because brothers, though, can fight easily, can also forgive easily, too.
That's true. And to me, I'm not worried about offending Jared or upsetting him. I'm going to be 100% me with him and vice versa. We're honest to each other. And truthfully, I think it makes this whole channel thing
more organic.
Yeah.
More genuine.
There's a lot of YouTubers out there who are doing this with people that they've met in their adult lives and don't really know too well like we do. And I don't know how they do it because Jared and I, we of course argue. We're making a channel. If you've ever been a part of a group project for school, just amplify it with this. But
and then just to answer more part of the question, I mean, there are periods of time where Eric and I didn't speak, but I wouldn't say it's because of the falling out. It's because of life. You know, like even through high school, we started to get different friend groups. I started going more in the path of music, and he started still kind of sticking to his roots of gaming. So like a lot of my friends were more musicians, and we started doing shows. And even through college, you know, I started taking music seriously as even a profession. And to a point where I moved to California, I moved to Los Angeles for, a couple years and did my thing. So, I didn't live in the same state as him for periods of time. So, of course, we didn't speak as much. But to be honest, this is what the beauty of our channel, I'm going to plug Retro Gaming Pandemic YouTube channel, because you are watching two brothers that truly reconnected their brotherhood and friendship through passion and love of nostalgia and video games. And this is the biggest essence of it, where literally before the channel, before the collecting, we would go months and months without speaking.
Family.
And now we talk literally every single day, all day, throughout the entire day. And that's why I love this channel, and that's why I think you guys love this channel.
Yeah.
It's special.
Yeah, literally video games brought us back together, brought us closer than we've ever been. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. We don't really have any like specific moments because, dude, brothers fight. We fight so much, man. It's just part of being brothers, but it's brotherly love.
Okay, so we've all heard like misconceptions or stereotypes about twins. What's like a misconception or like just something totally out of left field that you guys have heard? Like just one random person say, and then you were just like, that's not even a stereotype. What is that? What is, it blew your minds, so to speak.
Man, that's a tough question. I think to me, it's the like psychic twin connection.
100%. The mind reading stuff, that's absurd, guys.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
We barely know what each other's thinking, and
I don't even know what I'm thinking half the time, to be honest. I wish he knew more what I was thinking because it would help me out in a pinch.
Yeah, I mean, my wife knows me better than probably myself, so that one's kind of weird about twins. It's the whole psychic connection. I've never really understood that. But at the same time, for those wondering, we aren't identical twins.
We're fraternal.
We're fraternal. So Jared is actually 24 minutes older than me.
Yeah.
And we don't look alike. We sound alike, though. A lot of people say over the phone we sound identical, but...
Yeah, if literally the video just cut out right now, we probably would just sound like the same person or pretty close. Just Eric probably says more intelligent stuff than me.
So, besides that, I haven't really heard anything else. So, yeah, to me, it's going to be the psychic connection there.
Me too.
I wish we had it, though. That would be cool to just be able to think something and then have a conversation with Jared and no one could hear.
At least, like Jedi Force powers.
Yeah. All right, well, that's Retro Gaming Pandemic. I'm Eric, and this is Jared.
I'm Jared.
Yeah,
that's
so hopefully everyone got to know us a little bit better and what it's like being twin brothers, growing up gaming, and from 1989 till now, still gaming, still doing the same things. We haven't grown up, and we don't plan to.
Absolutely, and if you were curious and you ever wondered, we do not know how to read each other's minds.
We do not.
Thanks to Eric and Jared from Retro Gaming Pandemic. It's super appreciated. They didn't have to do it. Having said that, you should follow them on all the things I'm going to list in the description below. It's probably on screen too if I have edited it correctly. So get to clicking, get to following, get to subscribing. You're going to have way more fun watching their stuff, I promise.